With bone-dry rivers and in the grip of the worst drought in a century, rationing may have come too late to save the South African city of Cape Town, which may run out of water by April the 12th. The worst of the countrywide drought induced by El Nino ended with the summer rains, but the Cape gets most of its rainfall in winter, and forecasts give no guarantees the rains will be on time. Ration consumption currently is at 87 litres per person per day, and standpipes are springing up on street corners. Consumption will be cut to 50 litres per day on February the 1st, and what the authorities are calling Day Zero will see all other piped water cease in early April. There are already fears installed standpipes will not be able to cope.
A British charitable club says it's to close following allegations that hostesses were groped at its men-only annual dinner, according to a report in the Financial Times. The President's Club raised money by auctioning prizes at its gala. Lawyer and human rights campaigner Dr. Sholo Mboshok-Bamimu says some men will not understand where they went wrong.
There will be men amongst them who think, I got caught, and that is unfortunate, and not understand the depth of the anger and the disappointment that men in this society continue to participate in such activities.
The event took place at the Dorchester Hotel, which said it was deeply concerned by the allegations. Two London children's hospitals have said they will return donations from the President's Club. But Dr. Mboshok-Bamimu says this is not enough.
Of course, there's also comments around the fact that, the girls consented. This is not consent. Well, what are you talking about? We're not talking about consent here. For every single person that says this girl's consented, this is what I'll say to them. Why don't we swap those girls with your daughters?
At least 2 people have died in the Turkish border town of Kilis after rocket fire hit a mosque. It's the latest in a series of such attacks since the start of Turkey's military operation in Syria's Afrin region aimed at eliminating Kurdish YPG militia. Ankara's air and ground mission has now entered its 6th day. Turkish troops have been meeting stiff resistance from the Kurdish forces, who are backed by the US as they take on so-called Islamic State in Syria. Concern in Washington over the military operation produced a phone call from US President Donald Trump. In a transcript, it says Trump urged his Turkish counterpart, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, to de-escalate and to avoid civilian casualties. It's unclear how many people have died in Operation Olive Branch. A monitoring service says at least 27 civilians have been killed. Turkey says its operation will continue until the YPG, who it accuses of having links with its own Kurdish insurgents, have been crushed.
The city of New York is suing 8 companies that make or distribute prescription opioids. It accuses them of fueling a deadly and nationwide epidemic. Each year, opioid-induced overdoses kill more people in New York City than homicides and car accidents combined. Mayor Bill de Blasio said the lawsuit seeks $500 million of damages to help fight the crisis. The lawsuit alleges drug makers and distributors used deceptive marketing and flooded the market with potent painkillers that got millions of Americans hooked. The companies have denied the allegations. Other cities, including Chicago and Philadelphia, have filed similar suits as the crisis claims more lives by the day. Singers Prince and Tom Petty both had the painkiller fentanyl in their systems when they died of accidental overdoses. Petty's family said last week it hoped the rock star's death would spark a nationwide discussion about the crisis.
The yeas are 85.
The next head of the Federal Reserve has been confirmed after lawmakers overwhelmingly approved Jerome Powell. President Trump's top choice for the job, Powell is widely seen as a safe pair of hands and someone who backs low interest rates, though some fear he could face interference.
The person he appointed, Powell's really quite okay. But what scares me is that the stock market might fall, say, 20%. And then Donald Trump says, I don't like that. Don't you dare raise interest rates and hurt my beautiful stock market. And the Federal Reserve saying, we don't manage the stock market. Inflation's going up. The economy's going well. And that's when I start to worry.
Powell was nominated by Trump in November. He's set to take over from current Fed Chair Janet Yellen next month.
Isolation is not the answer, warned Angela Merkel, as the German Chancellor made a return to the international stage at the World Economic Forum in Davos. We know that there are national egos. We see populism on the rise. In many states, we see a polarizing atmosphere. Many people seem to worry about whether multinationalism will actually find an answer in a fair and equitable way to this huge technological challenge of digitization. If, in the face of disruptive changes, we'll succeed in including everybody. There are severe doubts about that in every country. Euronews will cover French President Emmanuel Macron's address to the WEF live from 5:30 p.m. Central European Time.
Climate change is one of the hot topics at this year's World Economic Forum in Davos, with the French President expected to champion the issue.
Welcome back to Davos and the European Day at the World Economic Forum. French President Emmanuel Macron is here to, quote, propose his international vision for the world of tomorrow. That is according to his team. That is his first speech at Davos since the election in May. Speaking on the same day with Angela Merkel, he's here to reaffirm his commitment to reforming the European Union. Emmanuel Macron is definitely one of the Davos star speakers. Since Donald Trump decided to withdraw the US from the Paris Accord, the French president has been trying to take the lead on climate change with his Make Our Planet Great Again motto. I have discussed it with Greenpeace International Executive Director Jennifer Morgan.
Very good that President Macron is out there, but he needs to do more at home. He needs to transform France's economy into a renewables-based economy, and then he needs to work with Chancellor Merkel and other European leaders to get Europe to be great again on climate change, because Europe's been in a bit of a funk on climate, and we need them to move forward and drive ambition, particularly with the Trump presidency.
Assim aqui nós arredondamos parte de Notícia Internacional. Depois de corte publicitário, nós tabaco e deporte com nosso colega Carl Reuter. Siga conosco.